Wanted to talk to you a little bit about my Turo business and a little bit more about the tips and tricks that I've learned on the past 2 to 3 years doing this platform. So I think if you watched the first video, I had a car stolen. Kind of crazy thing, but I've learned a lot about how to manage the application, how to manage the cars on it, and how to just take I wouldn't say all the stress out of it, but certainly streamline the aspect of dealing with the customers or the guests, as the nomenclature works. So, first things first, I'll jump right into it. I have a few tips. Tip number one would be getting a lockbox that attaches to the driver's window. I have one here, and this is the one I use. It's called a key guard. You can just get it on Amazon for like 50 bucks. Pretty simple the way it works. There's no batteries or anything crazy like that. Has this clip that rolls up into the driver's window, and then you basically just roll it up in the window. It hangs on the outside, and then it has a keypad, and then you can tell them what the keypad combination is, and then they push on this metal tab here, and the lockbox opens. In there, you can put your keys. If there's like a parking ticket to where you deliver the vehicle, you can put that in there too. And you just message all that to the guests, and they're good to go. I've never had an issue with that. I have had an issue with them not figuring out that it goes in the window and actually slamming it in the door, and that's caused a little bit of damage. But I also message, hey, just lock the key in the car and lock the parking ticket or whatever. Don't worry about hanging the lockbox. Just lock it all in the car, and I'll use my spare key to get it. And luckily that hasn't been an issue since I've done that. All right, so I guess the next tip I would say is regarding trackers. So I've known people to use like the iTags, the Apple iTags. Yeah, you could do that. That works. I'm just thinking, if somebody came across that iTag and they saw it, or they have an iPhone and it says, "Hey, somebody's tracking you," I think they would find that thing and just kind of throw it away. So I use something different. I use a magnet that I usually put somewhere where somebody's not going to find it, and I keep it wired to the car too. And in doing that, I never have to worry about it. I have an app. I can see where the car is. It only gives 3-minute updates, but that lets me know if they're on their way to returning to the airport or something like that. Gives me that visibility that it's on time. I'm going to arrive there. I roughly know like what entrance they use to get into the airport, so I know it's on the first floor, whichever level of the garage that it is. Because you could spend some time if they don't give you clear instructions on where to pick up the car. And I also know, that they had it in New York, so I'm probably going to be expecting some tolls or something along those lines. You have that visibility, and you kind of know where the car's been and what it's been going through. So, yeah, I do recommend the trackers. I feel also, that first one that I had that was stolen, that never would have happened if I had a tracker on that car. So, yeah, that would be... honestly, after going through that, I feel the trackers they're a little expensive. I think the one I bought was like 50 bucks was the price, and then I pay, about 18 bucks a month for each car. So, it's a total of 40 a month, and I prepay 6 months at a time, and I get a little discount on the prepay. But yeah, that is not ideal. I would say, when it comes to like the financing of the cars, I like to do loans. I mean, the interest rates of these cars when I got them was pretty low, but now I feel like the interest rates are kind of out of control. I'd probably pay cash now or use like a home equity line of credit to get the cars, but back then, I mean, I don't have a rate for a car that's over 4.25%. So I just use my credit to get these cars, and the money out of my pocket is very little. Like I would say on the order of maybe a couple $100 for the lock boxes and the trackers and that stuff. And then, my break even every month is roughly about $1,200. And I'd say on average we're making, $1,800 to $1,900 for both the cars. So I'd say on average I clear about $500, every month. So it's money I didn't have before. Eventually these cars, will be paid off and I'll be making a lot more, or I'll sell them. So, I think Turo is kind of a long haul kind of thing. It's not a short get rich quick kind of thing. It's just a few hours here, a few hours there, and that lets you, make a little money on the side. Eventually, there might be a decent payout for, the asset of the car being paid off, and you can sell that or do whatever you want with it. So, yeah, number 3, I would say, is use Turo's scheduled message capability. I'll show some screenshots and kind of walk you through what my messages are. But, basically, if I'm delivering to the airport, I give them the details of, I'm going to be parking the car in a long-term parking garage. I'll deliver it before you get there. There's a $22 fee to exit the garage. I basically say that my delivery fee is a little bit lower than other hosts to, account for that $22 fee. But that's totally worth it. Use the scheduled messages. And, with the lockbox and the scheduled messages, I almost never really send any messages like through the app, other than I verify the photos they attach. That is something when you do remote delivery with the lockbox, you need to ask them per Turo guidelines. Please attach a selfie of you holding up your ID to your face, and please attach a close-up of the ID. And with those two things, you can remote deliver. It makes it easier for somebody to rent the car and then let somebody else drive it. But I would say, just putting yourself in the shoes of the person renting the car, you just want to get in the car and drive away. You don't want to deal with any kind of face-to-face communication or hassles or hiccups, just like going to the Avis and, anytime you're walking to the Avis office or, at the desk, you're going to be waiting in line. It's going to be a hassle. You'd rather just walk directly to the car and drive away. And that's basically what I'm trying to provide. And I would say, so far I've done over 90 trips and I have all 5-star reviews, and that's been working for me. So use the schedule messages. I send a message, immediately after they book, whether it's delivery or not. And I send a message, like a day before, just saying, how's everything going? By the way, I have a membership to an express car wash, which I highly recommend you do too. Basically, there's a RFID on the window. You can go through that car wash for free. Not mandatory, but, I want to make your cleanup as easy as possible. So a lot of people are agreeable to that, and they do it. They take me up on it, and they run it to the car wash. All right, so tip number 4. Regarding the way Turo prices the vehicles, their automatic pricing feature, I think it's good. It does what I would do, which is during the week, it prices it lower. During the weekends and the high volume days, it prices it higher. I think that it prices it too high in some circumstances, and as a result, I've seen my car sit, over the Christmas holiday or New Year's, when I'd rather have it on my driveway. So I cap the max price to something just a little bit lower than their max, and the lower price I just let it ride at their lowest price. They know the demand better than me, so if they can get it out of my driveway, and I'm always pushing for longer trips too, so if they can get it out of my driveway, I'm good with that. I'm good with keeping my car rented as much as possible. So I would recommend that. And when it comes to the discounts, let your discounts kind of be your variable, for what you control. I only do 3-day trips. I don't recommend doing anything shorter than that. if you're putting effort in cleaning the car, then yeah, by all means, you know, figure out what you're willing to settle with for cleaning the car one time. My number is $100. I don't want to basically get out and clean the car and run it to the car wash and all that for less than a 3-day trip. You know, in the lower end of the pricing, and I set, you know, like a 3-day discount of maybe like 5%, less than what they recommend. I would say I set a much higher percentage discount for the 7 days. I set like 20%, which I think they recommend 15, and I highly recommend that because, you know, those guests that, you know, want to book a car, you know, for at least 7 days, you know they're doing highway driving, which is, you know, less wear and tear on the vehicle, and you know they're probably not gonna, at least in my experience, they have not gotten in any accidents or anything like that, and it's been pretty good for the longer duration trips. So that's pretty much what I have to say on pricing, and the trip duration. I really do like those guests that, you know, rent for a whole month. I mean, it comes out to be like $900 to $1,000, and yeah, it's gone well when that happens. I guess the last thing I'd say, and I kind of alluded to it before when I talked about airport parking. So I do delivery to the airport. I do only charge $60, which I've seen a lot of people charge crazy amounts of money, like 90 to $100, $120 to deliver to the airport. I don't make any money on airport delivery, because, you know, it's me and my wife's time. We're driving there, we're driving back. It's, you know, you got two people spending more than, you know, I'd say 45 minutes each, and then it's gas to get there, gas to get back, and then, you know, I also often have to pay for the pickup of the vehicle, the fee to get out of the gate. So using the tracker will get me to where I never have to pay more than $10, you know, to get out of the garage. But, you know, I always deliver 24 hours before. I've just found that works for me. And when you're delivering 24 hours before, it's $22 to get out of that garage. This is the long-term garage directly across from baggage claim. So in doing that, I would say that, you know, I have messaging on all my scheduled messages saying, by the way, it's $22 to get out of the gate. But, you know, this is directly across from baggage claim. You don't have to take a shuttle or anything crazy like that. And my fee is lower as a result of, you know, knowing that you're going to be paying for this. And because I used to charge 80 and now I charge 60. And this is the best experience that you're going to get out of the Columbus airport. So that's worked since I've changed the messages, because I have had some people saying, hey, $22 is a lot, you know, for me to start my trip. I'm like, well, yeah, I don't disagree with that, but, you know, you're not taking a shuttle to the rental car facility. You know, these airport fees that you'd be paying for any big name rental car company would be probably equivalent to the 22 that you're paying, you know, to get out of the garage. So I think it's all a wash in the end. And that's pretty much it with my tips. If you have any tips, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. I'd say in doing these things, I've made my Turo hosting a lot more manageable experience. I still have the occasional damage, you know. I think my previous video kind of covered, you know, taking a lot of the pictures, you know, underneath the car, underneath the seats, you know, anywhere and everywhere where somebody's going to leave something that, you know, could count against them. I take all those pictures because, yeah, you want to be filing that claim if there's damage right away. And now that I'm All-Star Host, and I've been an All-Star Host for a while, I'd say that getting through the damage process has been pretty decent for me. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.